The check-in code I wasn't supposed to see. The code arrived the way weather alerts do, confident, indifferent, assuming I had planned for it. It flashed on my watch while I rinsed coffee grounds from the French press. Check-in code 4279 Loft 3B, tonight 7:00 p.m. Beneath it, an address in a part of the city we only visit when we want to pretend our lives came with better lighting. It had my name on it. Owen Marshall, your stay is confirmed. I hadn't booked anything. Everything okay? Lena called from the bedroom, choosing which sweater made her look least like the person she had to be today. Spam, I said, and immediately hated how the lie felt in my mouth. Lena has book club on Thursdays. Tonight was Thursday. She kissed my cheek with the automatic accuracy of years. Don't wait up, she said into my skin. I opened my laptop and found the email buried in a folder the filter thinks is my assistant. It was legitimate. The booking had been made from my address at 1:13 a.m. 2 guests, 1 night, self-check-in. A line at the bottom, piano available, please be gentle. At 6:45, the watch tapped again to remind me I was supposed to be someone else tonight. I put on the navy shirt Lena calls my trying shirt. I left before I could be thoughtful. The building on Water Street used to make light bulbs. Now it sells nostalgia by the square foot. The hallway smelled like rain and lemon cleaner. I typed 4279. The bolt accepted me with a practical thunk. Inside, a couch, a forgiving rug, 2 stools, and an upright piano with a pear-shaped candle. No one else. I set my phone on the counter face up. I texted Lena, if book club runs late I can swing by and pick you up. Dots appeared, vanished, returned. Don't worry, she wrote. I should have left. Instead, I sat at the piano and pressed middle C because it's the only key I can find without cheating. The sound was honest. I stumbled through a wedding song, and the room treated the attempt kindly. The door opened at 7:06. Lena stepped in with the wary grace of someone entering a room and a possibility. She wore the green sweater, the one that makes her eyes decide to do more work. We stared like mirrors that hadn't agreed on a reflection. I didn't book this, I said. I did, she said. From your account. I didn't want it to be a secret. I also didn't want to explain it in our kitchen while the dishwasher argues with the plates. Explain what? That I needed a room where we could be the kind of people who make a plan before the emergency, she said, putting a paper bag on the counter. Bread ends poked out. Also, I wanted the piano. Why the piano? Because I needed to hear you try at a thing where trying is visible, she said. I wanted to see if we still like who we are while we're failing at something together. A tightness in my chest loosened just enough to let oxygen in. Who else is coming? I asked carefully. No one, she said. I wrote 2 guests because we are 2 people, you and me. She held up the bottle of wine like a permission slip, and because it's hard to tell the truth sober. We ate bread and cheese. We talked about small things first, the neighbor's car alarm that goes off if you breathe optimistically, the new barista who writes fortunes on cups. Then Lena rested her palm on the piano lid. I met someone, she said. I didn't kiss him, I didn't make promises, but I wanted to see what version of me he saw. I looked at our hands, parallel on the polished wood like 2 lines math teachers insist will never meet. Who? Julian. She said his name like a coat left on a chair. From the bakery. He talks about dough like it's an act of faith. A small, disloyal smile. I felt jealous of flour. How far? I asked, meaning everything. Coffee far, she said. Confessional far. The kind where you tell the truth in postcards because paragraphs would be a betrayal. I pressed middle C again, softer, as if volume could make the past gentler. "And this?" I asked, gesturing at the room. "I booked it so I wouldn't run from the conversation," she said. "So I could say I miss you without it sounding like an indictment. So I could ask if we're still us in a room that doesn't already know our habits." I put my hands on the keys. "What do you want me to do?" "Play me something wrong," she said. "Let's see what happens." I can play 3 songs. I chose the wedding piece because it felt dangerous and bridge-like. I missed notes and found them again. Lena leaned against the piano, sleeves pushed up like a person ready to help you move a couch. When I finished, she was crying in the way that respects the room. She handed me a tissue from nowhere. "Thank you," she said, "for failing where I could see you." We were quiet. Rain ticked at the screen. Inside, Lena unfolded a page, the kind we used to pass across the kitchen table when words were hard to speak aloud. "I made rules," she said. "No keeping secrets that would change how we hold each other. No making a third person solve a problem that belongs to two. No pretending desire is an ethics system. No cutting the wire to the part of me that sings." "I miss you," I said, relieved and angry at once. "I miss you too," she said simply. "Do you plan to see him again?" I asked, because names resist ambiguity. "Yes," she said, "once to return his book and say we're choosing us." We sat shoulder to shoulder on the piano bench and made noise that would embarrass proper musicians. The closeness felt like an apology without the humiliation of the word. After a while she said, "Do you want me to ask about your almosts?" "I don't have names," I said. "I have mornings I made too efficient, and a woman at work who laughs at jokes I don't make, and a barista who writes me fortunes like you will forgive yourself, and I tip too much and pretend it's generosity." We looked at each other fully. "What does choosing us look like tonight?" I asked. "It looks like writing down one small thing we can do that the other will feel before they hear," she said, "and putting our phones in the drawer at 9, and you walking me home." I wrote, "Touch your back when I pass." She wrote, "Phones in the drawer by 9. We washed the knife, wiped crumbs we could have left. I blew out the candle and the room became instantly honest. The lock clicked behind us like punctuation." On the stairs, Lena squeezed my hand. "Can I tell you something that will make you roll your eyes?" "Guaranteed," I said. "I booked this a week ago," she said. "Before the first coffee. I used your account so you'd see it if I chickened out." I laughed despite myself, the sound of a man who's been tricked and saved by the same person. "I did see," I said. "I almost ran." "You came," she said, as if the verb were enough tonight. We stepped into kind rain and walked home. At the corner, I looked back at 3B. The pear candle flickered once. At home, the dishwasher did its usual argument. We slid our phones into the drawer at 9 and ignored the phantom vibrations. When I passed behind her to turn off the light, I let my hand cross her back, and she made a small sound that belonged to us. In bed, we lay like a pair of parentheses. Around midnight, I heard the beginning of her old laugh, the one that arrives when she isn't entertaining anyone. "What?" I asked into the dark. "I was thinking about the wire," she said. "Maybe it was never cut. Maybe we wrapped it in bubble wrap and labeled it later." Her hand found mine under the covers. "I don't want later if we can help it." We slept like people who had put a date on the calendar called try again. In the morning, I woke to the smell of toast and rain in her, and the watch tapping my wrist to inform me that my stay had ended. It hadn't. We had checked into something and decided not to leave.